Hey, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways to set up an LLC in New York. But more important than that, I'm going to share crucial information that will help keep your new business safe and protected. So if you are not familiar with terms such as commingling funds, piercing the corporate veil, or registered agent, don't worry, because I will tell you all about them. And they are so important. By the time this video ends, you will understand the impact of them on your LLC. Now, the first way to start your New York LLC is to go to the New York Secretary of State website. You can find the link for the state site and any resources mentioned in the description below. Once you create an account, you can go through the steps here to get your LLC set up. As you'd expect, the state website is not the prettiest or the easiest thing to navigate. But there are no fees involved except for the $200 state filing fee as of 2022. There's no way around that fee. You're gonna have to pay that if you go direct through the state or an online legal tool or through an attorney. The pros of using a state site are that there are no markups and no upsells. The downside is that they are not laid out well, making the registration process way more confusing than it needs to be. One of the other downsides of the state site is that they do not help you keep your LLC compliant because the site lacks the ability to remind you of important updates and renewal reminders. I'll explain this further, but first, let's talk about what an LLC actually is so that you understand how to maintain it properly. Some people think there is a tax advantage to having an LLC over a sole proprietorship, but there's not. The advantage of an LLC is the name itself. It helps to limit your liability. Imagine your business and just all of its assets. So this could be the office, your computers, your business bank accounts. Now, on the personal side, you might have a home, a vehicle, personal bank account. What an LLC does is it draws a line or a division between those two asset classes. That division is something called the corporate veil. So if somebody sues your business, they can try to come after your business assets, but the LLC and the corporate veil are going to protect your personal assets so that they can't come after your personal home or your personal bank account. That is why an LLC is so important. Earlier, I mentioned something called piercing the corporate veil. What this legal jargon means is if your business is sued, the attorney suing your business is going to try to find cracks in your LLC. And if they can find a crack, they can pierce the corporate veil. When this happens, they can come after your business and personal assets. That is why it is so important to not only set up an LLC, but to maintain it so that there are no cracks. Now, I'd like to explain why the state site just isn't really good for maintaining your LLC. And I'm going to give you 3 examples. A great service for setting up your LLC is a company called InkFile, which is an online legal tool. You'll find a link in the description below that will take you to their site. And we really appreciate you using that link because it helps support the YouTube channel. The reason I like InkFile is that they have packages starting at $0 plus the state fee. So it's that same $200 state fee plus a $5 digital filing fee, but the package fee starts at $0. And one of the perks of this package is that you get a free registered agent service for a year. This is the first reason why I prefer this site over the state site. So now let's dive into what a registered agent is. Every LLC is required to have a registered agent, which is sometimes called a resident agent, statutory agent, or agent for service of process. The registered agent must have a physical address in the state your LLC is set up, and this person helps you with important communication and documentation such as franchise tax forms, notices of litigation, tax and legal correspondence, and required annual report forms. Basically, the registered agent helps you and your LLC stay in compliance. So now if you go through the state website, they are just going to ask for the name and address of your registered agent without much context. If you go through InkFile, that service is free for the first year, and then it's $119 after that annually, and you're free to change or drop the registered agent service at any time. Now, another reason I like InkFile is that the state website does not help you with the federal aspects of your business. So here's an example of this. Your LLC is set up through your state, but an EIN business tax number is set up through the IRS. You can think of the EIN as a social security number used to identify your business for tax purposes. So when you get set up through the state website, they do not help you with setting up an EIN number. And if you've never done it before, it can be really confusing. In the middle tier package on InkFile, they'll set up the EIN for you. I'll also include a link in the description below if you want to do your EIN setup yourself on the IRS website. Now, I also want to highlight that they will set you up with a business bank account. This is really important to do from the beginning, and here's why. Not only does it just make bookkeeping and accounting way easier for your business, but you should also know that if you run your business through your personal checking account, you are commingling funds. And that's because you have personal cash flow, and then you have business cash flow happening in the same account. And this can create a crack in your LLC, which could lead to an attorney piercing the corporate veil and coming after your business and personal assets. So InkFile takes this into consideration, where the state website just sets up your LLC. The nice thing with InkFile is that your dashboard helps you not only set up your LLC, but maintain it and keep it compliant with annual reports or forms that need to be filed as well. Now, the last thing I want to discuss is if you should hire an attorney. Most people are fine going through the state site or an online tool to get started. But if you have a really complex business with multiple partners, or you're going to be doing business in an area outside of your state, you may want to consider an attorney. Another thing to consider is if you're already doing business and making over $40,000 of net income, you may want to consider an S Corp. Many times businesses start out as an LLC, but as revenues grow, they switch to an S Corp for the added tax advantages. In the description below, I'll have a list of resources for you, including a good attorney service that offers free consults if you're already making a good income in your business and have a complex situation. On the screen here, you'll see a video that goes further into the InkFile dashboard and what it looks like after purchase. Again, thank you for using the links in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next video.